Okay, so one of the things I talk about with room temperature superconductors is that I can hold it in my hand and drill it and polish it and stuff like that. And people think, well, he's full of shit. Except I just did. Um, Gosh, where'd that thing go? Boy, I ought to be better prepared. So on my little Zooper, we've got a silicon carbide wheel. This is from Dremel, right? A thing from Dremel, and a non-Dremel, actually really good drill motor. And so it made rather short work of this. And what we have here, these dished out places, are hoppers. Platinum has a very definite face-centered cubic structure, and that gives it. You see it right here. There's a little boop sticking up out of the middle. That is the outie part. There's an innie part, like belly buttons, kind of, right? Um, and the other side of the crystal, and it's a little cube, has an innie part going, you know, and that's the outie part, and they look like a little cube with a sticking out of it, or sometimes like a little circle with a sticking out of it, like a poppy, like the Papaver the ones we call Flanders field poppies. Anyway, so what we have here is AUPD. Doesn't hardly weigh anything. If that was gold or platinum, it would weigh, 20 grams or something. This barely weighs anything. It's as hard as steel. Doesn't get hot. I held it in my hand while I ground that stuff off. Doesn't get hot. I warmed up a little bit, but not much. The thing is, when I warm it up here, it's like water, right? The water, the temperature passes through the entire piece. So a little bit of heat here is dissipated through the whole thing rather than being concentrated here or wherever. I didn't put the face there. The face just happens. They all have faces when I make them. I don't know why. Maybe when you make them, they won't have faces. I don't know. But you're welcome to make them because they're easy to make. You take old melted beer cans and you throw it on the dust on the road. And this is what happens. It's far out, man. And you cannot melt this stuff with anything normal. Um, I was just telling her friend that I'm going to use a big X aluminum pot. It used to be, I bought it on eBay as an aluminum casserole dish, right? Um, and it didn't have a top, so it volunteered to become the first test piece. And it's now one of my primary crucibles. I do a lot of my heating inside of it just because it's pretty well flame proof. And yesterday, when I melted a bunch of aluminum and I poured it into molds, one of them was one of the dishes that I changed, the small one, and I just dumped the molten metal into it, and it turned into lumps of this, and the crucible itself is absolutely unscathed. And for a $10 aluminum pot, it's a pretty good deal. It's a crucible that'll hold up to molten palladium, because that's what this ends up being. What we're doing is creating crystals of palladium with gold, AuPd, and we do that by raising the temperature inside the dust, so that the dust moves into the molten metal, and that's how crystals form. It forms, they form like deep in the earth, as the molten stuff cools. And the separation of metals that I get comes from different metals precipitating out at different temperatures. And it happens like in microseconds, picoseconds. And so this crystallization thing happens like boop, like that. I mean, like you can't even see it happen. It happens so fast. And somebody makes faces at me, even still. I mean, hey, how did he do that? Because I didn't do it, man. I did not do that. Aye, aye, mate. Evolution. You can see the hominid face here, and then here it is. The big grin. Eyes with pupils. Oh boy. It's a little bit like Johnny Cash, made out of platinum. Far out. Something, I'm just using my imagination. It's kind of any old buddy could be any old buddy. Any old buddy that doesn't have much of a nose there, more like a gorilla type person. And gorillas are indeed people. They share exactly the same RNA and DNA we have. So did my little dog. So do the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy